In 1971, Hafez al-Assad seized power in Syria, marking the beginning of a decades-long authoritarian rule. Coming from the minority Alawite sect, a branch of Shia Islam in a predominantly Sunni country, Assad navigated sectarian tensions to consolidate his power. He established a pervasive security apparatus that ruthlessly suppressed dissent. His regime, while credited with a degree of stability, was characterized by human rights abuses and a lack of political freedoms. Assad's Syria became a major player in the tumultuous Middle Eastern landscape. He positioned himself as a staunch opponent of Israel, engaging in multiple conflicts and solidifying his image as an Arab nationalist leader. This stance resonated with many Syrians, even those who opposed his domestic policies. Assad's Syria also became embroiled in the Lebanese civil war, further complicating its regional role. Throughout his reign, Hafez al-Assad remained a shrewd and calculating leader. He carefully cultivated alliances, both domestically and internationally, while effectively silencing any opposition. His rule laid the groundwork for the Assad dynasty, shaping Syria's political landscape for decades to come. His legacy continues to cast a long shadow over the country, even after his death and the subsequent rule of his son Bashar. The year 2000 marked a turning point for Syria, with the death of Hafez al-Assad and the ascension of his son Bashar to the presidency. Initially, Bashar, a British-trained ophthalmologist, offered a glimmer of hope for liberalization. His early pronouncements hinted at reforms, prompting cautious optimism both domestically and internationally. However, this proved to be short-lived as Bashar consolidated his grip on power, mirroring the authoritarian tactics of his father. The younger Assad faced mounting challenges, inheriting a country grappling with economic stagnation and a burgeoning youth population. His attempts at limited economic reforms yielded mixed results, failing to address the deep-seated structural issues plaguing Syria's economy. The combination of economic hardship and political repression created a volatile environment ripe for unrest. The so-called Arab Spring uprisings that swept across the Middle East and North Africa in 2011 ignited long-simmering frustrations within Syria. Protests, initially demanding democratic reforms and greater freedoms, were met with a brutal crackdown by the Assad regime. The situation rapidly deteriorated into a full-blown civil war, plunging Syria into a devastating conflict that would last for over a decade. The Syrian civil war, erupting in 2011, became a gruesome vortex of violence, displacement, and international power struggles. What began as a popular uprising against the Assad regime quickly transformed into a multifaceted conflict. Various rebel groups, each with their own ideologies and agendas, emerged to challenge Assad's rule. The fractured opposition struggled to present a united front, weakening their fight against the regime's forces. The Syrian conflict drew in regional and global powers, each pursuing their own strategic interests. Russia, a longtime ally of the Assad regime, intervened militarily in 2015, providing crucial air support and bolstering Assad's forces. Iran, another key ally, provided extensive military and financial support, deploying its own forces and backing various Shiite militias fighting alongside the Syrian army. The United States, while initially hesitant to intervene directly, provided limited support to certain rebel groups. However, their involvement remained cautious, focused on combating the rise of extremist groups like ISIS, which had exploited the chaos to seize territory. The Syrian conflict became a proxy war, with external actors fueling the violence and complicating any prospects for a peaceful resolution. The fall of the House of Assad, a new era for Syria?